If you're an engineer or artist that's recording yourself or other people, you'll know that sometimes you have to record on a 2-track beat. This is usually what the producer gives you. It's their mix, it's their version, and you can't really do a whole lot to spice it up. Or can you? In today's video, I'm going to talk about how I approach spicing up 2-track beats, even if I don't have access to the stems and trackouts. Stay tuned, we're going to dive right in. Hey, what's going on? This is your boy 5-Piece, producer and engineer extraordinaire. Are you an artist, producer, engineer, or music professional that's looking for funding for your music career? Could you benefit from having funding for studio time, mixing and mastering, or even marketing costs? I think I have something for you. I've written a free ebook. It's 9 pages, super short and digestible, where I break down the 6 main places that artists and professionals like yourself can find funding for their musical projects. If this sounds like it's of value to you, please click the link below and you can download this for free today and benefit from this knowledge. I hope this helps. I'll see you guys soon. Peace. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is your boy 5-Piece, producer and engineer extraordinaire. Thank you for checking out this video. We're going to talk about how you can spice up a 2-track beat to make them a little bit more lively or add your own sauce to them. But before I get into that, if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe and the bell button below so you can stay tuned for more helpful tutorials, more helpful videos that I'm going to be dropping in the near future. All right, so as I said, we're going to talk about how I approach spicing up a 2-track beat. Let's jump right into Pro Tools and I'll show you how I approach this. Sometimes when you're working with artists in the studio, the only thing you can work with is a 2-track instrumental. What this means is it's just the beat from the producer. You don't have stems, you don't have trackouts, and you got to find a way to make it work. Sometimes these producers have lost files and they can't get to it, or there's just some other factor at play that's just not allowing you to work with that instrumental. Now, mixing it is one thing, right? There's only so many things you can do, but how can you add some spice or flavor to an instrumental that's a 2-track? Now, I'm cheating a little bit in this case. This is actually a beat that I made as well, and I still have the files, and ultimately in the final mix setting, I did go back and, mix everything and do everything as I wanted to, but I like working with the 2-track instrumental to start when I'm recording. It just, takes a lot of the pressure off through the recording process. I don't have to set things up. I don't have to mix everything to a certain degree just in order to start recording. I try to just focus on recording purely on a 2-track and later swapping it out with the stems. And I recommend this to anybody because it just keeps you in that flow state when you're working. You want to focus on being in that flow state the entire time so you can get the song done and then worry about the nitty-gritty details of how you're going to go about mixing it and cleaning it up. Nonetheless, when you're working with a 2-track, it does give you an opportunity to add to the beat or change things up. And we're not talking about adding things necessarily. In fact, we're talking about doing certain things with the arrangement that allow you to add a bit more excitement to the track. So let me just pull this up and show you what this originally sounded like, this piece here. And you can kind of see what I did to it after. Let's just play this little moment here. This is a song called How I Feel by Left Field Keel.
Tree spun, all this money I'ma need some. 2 bitches for a threesome. Motherfucker stop, I haven't begun. Talking to me, you better speak up. Quad pinks keep me buzzed. I'm stuffing those up in the D cups. Bitch on the rebound, about to be stuff. Mo tumbo with the dumb flow. I'm fingering the bitch and let the gun go. My tongue roll like a drum roll. Solos at the Soho.
You get the idea, right? It was cool. Like if this was the only thing you heard, which it probably is right now, you may not have noticed anything, right? Let me undo now and show you what I did to this ending part of the beat to just emphasize the drop. I felt like the drop wasn't really impacting us enough, especially considering that here is a pretty big, actual hit with the cymbal and everything. It just felt like this wasn't as exciting as it could have been, so I did something to it. So let me just play this and show you. This is the result.
Tree spun, all this money I'ma need some. Two bitches for a threesome. Motherfucker stop, I haven't begun. Talking to me, you better speak up. Quad pinks keep me buzzed. I'm stuffing those up in the D cups. Bitch on the rebound, about to be stuffed. Motumbo with the dumb flow. I'm fingering your bitch and let the gun go. My tongue roll like a drum roll. Solos at the Soho.
Much more exciting, right? So I did a few things here. Let me just zoom in and we could take a look. But one thing I did was, I muted a section, obviously, and I used tape stops, two different kinds of tape stops, but I used the tape stops to just create a little bit more push-pull tension, you know what I mean? Waiting for this actual drop to happen. So if I were to show you one more time here, you'll see this is a tape stop that just slows it down.
Stuffing those up in the D cups, bitch on the rebound, about to be stuffed.
And the silence here lets you focus on Keel's vocal in this case, right? Just cuts, I'm focused on his vocal. And then this is another tape stop, but instead of it slowing down, it's actually speeding up and pitching it back up to the normal tempo, which really lends itself well going into the splash cymbal here.
Be stuffed, Motumbo with the dumb flow.
And it just sounds cool as hell. You might be wondering how I did this, so I'll just show you. What I do is I go to Audio Suite in Pro Tools, Pitch Shift, Verify, and this is a tape stop plugin, okay? You can just render your sound exactly as it is, and it's going to add that tape stop effect directly to the audio track. So you're not going to put this on your channel. You're just going to render it and have it exactly like that. And, that'll free up some processing power anyways and let you use your CPU for EQ and other moves. Nonetheless, what you want to do is you want to find, the end of the line, right? So this is pretty much the last part, and you want to find a spot that makes sense. In this case, it made sense to mute here. I took the last part here, and I just rendered it to slow down, right? And then on this part, I did the exact opposite. I hit speed up, and I rendered it to speed up. Now, this is always going to boil down to how much of a selection you make, how big of a, a selection you make here. So here I got, 2 parts of a bar here, and then here I just got 1 part. So this is a little more elongated, builds a little bit more anticipation, whereas this is nice, short, sweet, and quick. It just kind of cuts the music right away. That could also be a little bit jarring, but in a good way, because in this particular instance, I wanted this part to just create the tension so that when this actually drops, you're a lot more engaged as a listener, you're more excited, and you just are satisfied with the drop itself, right? When I had it just playing the entire time, it was a lot less exciting than what we have right now. I'm going to play it one more time, and you guys can just check it out once again. So this is with all the drops and stuff added.
Tree spun, all this money I'ma need some. 2 bitches for a threesome. Motherfucker stop, I haven't begun. Talking to me, you better speak up. Quad pinks keep me buzzed. I'm stuffing those up in the D cups. Bitch on the rebound, about to be stuffed. Motumbo with the dumb flow. I'm fingering your bitch and let the gun go. My tongue roll like a drum roll. Solos at the Soho.
You get the idea. It just adds a lot more impact to the record. And, that's what we want to do. So you want to just listen to your beat, find different moments where you can do things like this. It doesn't always have to be exactly this, but just finding moments to drop out, make them silent or mute them, just to create the anticipation and let you focus on the artist's vocal or just emphasize their lyrics or words that they're saying. Using the tape stops to just create some cool rhythms and add a little more emphasis to those mutes and dropouts. That's also cool. And in certain situations, I also do stutters and stuff as well. I'll just go in, highlight a few moments, delete the moments in between them, and then it's suddenly, brr, you know what I mean? Adding a little bit more rhythm to the record, which is really cool as well. All right, and there you have it. A couple of ideas of how I approach adding some spice or sauce to a 2-track beat. This is obviously for a situation where I don't have access to the track outs, but you can see how you can do this. It's a lot of tape stops, maybe it's some stutters. It's just figuring out ways to manipulate the beat to make it fit better or enhance the vocal. The vocal is going to dictate everything at the end of the day. All right. If you got value out of this tutorial, please like, subscribe, and share. Share with your friends, producer friends, artist friends, anybody you know that's probably dealing with 2-track beats on a regular basis and wants to find a way to just enhance them and make them better, okay? If you got any questions, definitely drop them below in the comments. Let me know if you want me to do a video on anything in the future. Maybe there's a specific problem you have or something else that you want to get my 2 cents on. I'd love to do that for you, but you got to let me know so I can, all right? I'll see you guys again soon. Peace out.
5